So the question is, now that I'm going forward, I have decided to change my relationship with alcohol and I've quit drinking. What do I do about healing my body? So I have to answer this perspective question from just the point of view of I'm not a medical doctor, but let me tell you what I did. First, let me just brag on the brain and the body and tell you how amazingly wonderful they are. The brain is so amazing on how it can make new pathways. Once upon a time, they thought once you made your brain thinking, that was it. You were done. You were stuck into it forever. It's not true. Every day, mercy is new. The dawn is breaking every day with neurogenesis, our little brain cells. And so they have scientifically proven now that we can make new pathways in our brain, which is awesome. So that means when we quit drinking, we can make new ways of doing things in our brain. How do we heal? When I was going through this, I had had a lot of trauma in my life growing up, and that was actually the reason and function for my drinking. At a young age, I found alcohol. It was very accessible to me, and I found that it helped me block out life, and it became a coping tool for me for emotional numbing out. Like I didn't want to do feelings. So when I focused on putting the drink down, that was, yes, part of a behavior. But the more important part that I needed to learn in this entire process was not just putting the drink down. It was about how to not pick the drink back up. And in not picking the drink back up through the awareness of why I did it, what function and role I assigned to the drink, I learned that it had a lot to do with different stresses, different coping ways for my personal anxieties, my overwhelmed feelings. Like I didn't know what to do with them. So from more of like a cognitive level, that is coping skills and tools that we need. So in the question of how can I heal forward? Well, we are a three-part being. We are our mind, we are our body, and we are spiritual beings. So we have to look at all of those parts. Again, the brain is amazing. Our body is amazing. When we look at it through its God-given design, like it is intended to like treat us good. It wants to feel good. It wants to balance itself out. So as we put down that drink, our body starts kicking in and doing what it's supposed to do. A lot of this stuff it does on its own. Like we don't even need to think about it. So again, because I'm not a doctor, the first thing that I would suggest to other people is, hey, maybe go to your doctor. Maybe just finally have the conversation that you may have not even wanted to have and say, hey, here's my reality. I've done a lot of drinking. And let's go see what's going on with my body. You can get blood work done. They can tell you exactly what's been going on in your body, what areas specifically that need to be addressed. There can be assistance on that end. Also, for me, I was very much into essential oils. I love essential oils. They are God-given medicines that help us emotionally. They help us physically. Like they're the coolest little things on the designs for them. So I did a lot of my emotional healing through essential oils, through emotional release techniques. I used very specific ones to get into the parts of my brain that I had locked away that I couldn't get access to through the fragrances of that aroma. It's actually like it can break through the blood-brain barrier, just like alcohol, and it seeps in and gets to the different parts of the body. I can tell you more specifically later as we get into that, but that was one of the things that I did. Also, I started to learn about supplements. Part of the reasons that I drank, I told you, were the role and function, and it was to numb out things. And of course, when I was numbed out, I was never caring about what I was doing to my body. So I looked into self-care. I learned about the pillars of wellness. I looked into, again, going back, that one function was anxiety. So I'm like, well, what can I do for stress? I looked into what's called exercise. No, I hate that word. Actually, I looked into that and then I changed it to ERIE, intentional release of emotional energy. And I looked for ways to release all of the anxiety. I did things like water aerobics. I got in the water. I kicked, I screamed, I moved around, I sang, I danced. I did whatever I could to move that energy around. I also, again, I did the essential oils and also looked into supplements. Supplements are amazing. They do so many cool, wonderful things. Like I took a lot of the B vitamins. B vitamins are intended to not only work with your mood, but they're balancing internally things that you can't access. I also did a lot of mineral supplements. There were parts in my my diet because I had neglected to actually be nutritionally aware. Okay. In my drinking days, what did I do? I filled myself full of carbs and all kinds of like icky stuff. So the next best idea in that state of mind was to get the greasiest, most convenient, preservative filled crap food. And so my body was like, "Ooh, what are you doing?" So I looked into nutritional things. I looked at ways that I could serve my body through food and to get it healing that way. So again, essential oils, supplements, my body had lost the ability to absorb certain minerals, mostly because I wasn't putting them in my body. So I started to look into that. And then again, the Erie. So I started to address all of the different parts of it. And then for my mind part, I renewed my thinking into what I wanted to learn. My tagline for everything was learn to create and live into the life that you want to live, not that you want to escape from. So I actually took this approach from a counterintuitive way. I looked, what did I want from the future? I looked ahead and said, that's the life I want to create. And then I leaned into that. Meanwhile, as I was leaning into all the things that I wanted to do and try, I implemented all these other things that I just previously mentioned. And I allowed my body to do the parts that it was supposed to do. One of the other most important things that I did when I lost the drink, my body had an ability to sleep. Sleep is amazing. It does all kinds of cool things. Like when we get enough sleep, it helps us start to process things in our mind. It gets into other parts of our body, all these like systems, and it does its own healing. So there's so many things that when we start to learn to fall in love with our body, that our body automatically does. We just have to nurture that. So just to get you started, that's a few of the things that we get started with when we put down the drink and let our body begin to heal itself through its God-given design. It's the coolest thing ever.